What up, sports fans? Waxon Wednesday, Jake Waxman, Tyler Lavalette, two guys talk sports. Let's rock and roll this Wednesday. And I'll start things off with, of course, why not the Winter Olympics? So what's going through my mind, or one of the thoughts that's going through my mind, it's luge, which I've enjoyed watching, or at least the events such as luge, skeleton, and bobsled, soon to be bobsled, which is coming up. Of course, they all run on the same kind of track, but the focus on this first subject, it's the track that these events are run on. And I won't sugarcoat it. Watching the luge event, and I'll be watching more of that later tonight, I can't help but notice something's going on. And I can't help but feel concerned about the state of the track that the luge events have been taking place on. And soon, of course, you got skeleton and bobsled. And it's not just me. A lot of people have expressed concerns about the ice that's been used on this track. It may not be of the best quality, and I've noticed it. Like, there's been events where, usually in the past, the ice used for these kind of events is pretty smooth. It's well taken care of, well maintained, but it looks a little rough. And watching the luge events, I've noticed plenty of people who have been participating in luge, they've been going up and down in some of those turns like crazy too, and I've noticed also people who are pushing it to the full limit, trying to make as much time as possible, nearly wrecking. It's very rare that you see someone flip over in luge, but the Team USA had someone in the women's side of things who almost wrecked. She did a great job keeping it under control and preventing herself from wrecking or flipping over, or tipping over, however you want to say. But, you should be able to push as hard as you want to make up time. But I've noticed the harder someone pushes in these events, the greater the chance is that they might wipe out or something. So, and a lot of athletes are saying the ice is, there's a lot of concerns about the ice. And I also wondered, the construction of this track, is it of the best quality? I've noticed something. Tracks in past Winter Olympics for these kind of events are usually, they have specific materials like cinder blocks and that stuff. But I've also noticed for Cortina's luge track, wood has been heavily incorporated into this design. And maybe that was a cost-cutting move. But I also wondering if it's affecting the performance of this track as well. So overall, just from what I've noticed, I mean, as we near the bobsled events, I can't help but be concerned about whether or not the ice or the design of this track is affecting the performance of this ice, and whether or not the ice is of the best quality for these kind of events. And so it looks a little rough. And athletes who are partaking in these events have been speaking about this on ice too. Like, they've been saying that it's rougher compared to years past. I mean, I could be wrong, and maybe everything will turn out just fine, but this is just one of my first thoughts of this 2026 Winter Olympic Games. Hopefully, maybe as the days go on, the ice will settle in and things will get a little smoother, but there's been plenty of action in the luge event so far, and you got skeleton and bobsled coming out. Hopefully, there's no serious wrecks. That's my main concern. As long as nobody wrecks or gets hurt, it's all good. Then it's all good, but those who have been pushing it to the limit have really been feeling the roughness of this ice. And even those who are just going about this in a calm manner, the ice has definitely had an impact on this year's luge events and skeleton events that are going. And then we got the bobsled coming up, of course. So just something that I've noticed. Hopefully it's nothing too much more than just rough patch of ice, or maybe a design flaw in the construction of this downhill track. So we'll see what happens in the days to come, but looking forward to bobsled. Just got some thoughts about the track and the nature of the track thus far. Will the ice settle in and become smoother, or will it stay rough? Or is the construction of this track having an effect on these events? And you're seeing some darn near close calls. I mean, we've seen a lot of people brush the wall, whether that's been they pushed it too hard, or maybe the track design has something to do with it. Just my 2 cents so far on the track used for luge, skeleton, and bobsled, of course. And speaking of the Winter Olympics, okay, I'm about to talk about an event that I don't talk about a lot. I'm pretty sure I've only talked about this event a few times when I've covered the Winter Games, of course, and that would be none other than, quote, curling. I know we don't like to talk about curling. Most of us think curling is boring, but how about Team USA in curling this year, and especially in the mixed event? So let me tell you who I'm talking about. I am referring to Team USA's Corey Dropkin and Corey Theis of Team USA. So this is the mixed curling team. So we got one male, one female, both who go by Corey. One starts with a C, one starts with a K. Different last names, but congrats to this pair on winning silver at the Milano Cortina games. Really great run. We weren't even expected really to do this well in curling, but here we go. We got a team. Got the mixed team of Dropkin and Theis, who overachieved in this year's Olympics and ended up with a silver medal. Man, I know we all wanted them to win gold. I wanted them to win gold so badly. I really did. They beat the Italians to get to the gold medal match, and it came down to the final, basically the eighth end. And they gave it their best shot against Sweden. Just wasn't enough. But you know what? Nothing to be disappointed about if you're those two. Hold those to Corey Theis and Corey Dropkin. Keep those heads held high. You made your country very proud. Made the U.S. really, really proud. And silver and curling, nothing to be ashamed about, especially considering the U.S. usually doesn't do that well in curling. My greatest hope from this moment, though, with these two having the great run in the mixed curling event, or the mixed team curling event, my greatest hope is that this will change Americans' perspective of the sport of curling. And I'll admit, it's changed my perspective a little bit. I'm not the biggest fan of curling, but the more I've watched it, the more I have found it fascinating, or to be fascinating. I mean, it's not just, trying to shoot like a couple of, shuffle. I mean, it's like, curling, of course, is like shuffleboard, but way bigger and with ice. But you're trying to shoot like those things down the ice, and then you got your brooms. No, it's a lot more than just that. It's pure strategy. It's like playing chess, pretty much. You got to strategically think things through and move your pieces where you want them to, and sometimes you got to think about attacking the other team's pieces too. Curling, it's an athletic sport, but it's also a very big mental game, and it's a thinking type of game. You got to think carefully, and I love the strategy involved with curling. I mean, and watching the two Coreys here strategize and figuring out how to attack each and every round, it was fascinating, to say the least. So my hope is that their run in this Winter Olympics to silver medal will change the Americans' perspective on the sport of curling. And hopefully this will go to show that the USA is up in their efforts. They're stepping up their efforts in the sport of curling. Hey, the more sports we can be good at, the merrier. Love it. But curling, it's no joke. It's actually a pretty fascinating sport. If you can stay patient enough to watch it, it's fun. It really is, and it's fun to see how each and every move and each and every strategy, how things play out. So once more to Corey Theis and Corey Dropkin, congrats on your silver medal. Congrats on a great run, and great job. You made America proud. You certainly made this American proud. And finally, now we're going to take a break from the Olympics and talk about some Purdue basketball. All right, after losing 3 games in a row, Purdue has now turned things around a little bit. They've won 3 games in a row now. And last night, they got a huge win on the road at number 7 Nebraska. And I will say this, they easily could have lost this game too. They almost blew this game, not going to lie. But they found their toughness was tested. They had enough toughness to win this game. They earned themselves, it wasn't pretty. They got lucky, but they also earned themselves a well-earned quad 1 victory. And very important for building momentum towards the NCAA tournament. Now, that being said, there was something in this game that jumps out at me. And I was looking through the stats last night of this game, and I saw something that just made me go, holy crap, what are we doing? Get this. The Purdue Boilermakers in last night's win against Nebraska, they shot the ball from 3 a total of, and I'm not making this number up, Purdue shot the ball from behind the arc from 3-point range 46 times. That's right. I'm not making this up. They shot the ball 46 times. Like, I didn't half expect an NBA team to shoot the ball 46 times in a game. But Purdue basketball, a college basketball team shooting 46 times? I have never seen the Purdue Boilermakers shoot the ball from 3 that many times in one game. Holy Toledo. Who do we think we are? But, yeah, seriously. Man, I'm just going to say that there's a lot of ways you can look at this. And, like, if you're thinking, like, humor, like, man, if I had a dime for every time Purdue shot the ball from 3 in that game last night, or take a shot every time Purdue takes a 3-point shot. Do not try that at home, folks, because there's a good chance you will die from drunkenness if you did something like that. No, we're just going with, if I had a dime for every time Purdue shot the ball from 3. Oh, my goodness. That's just not something I'd expect from a college basketball team. And here's how many, you're probably wondering, how many of those threes did Purdue make in that game? Out of 46 3-point shot attempts, they made 28% of them. They made 13 threes. So on the road, that's not a bad number. That's a good number, but from based on the number of shots you took in that game, that's not good. All right, making 13 on the road is good, but if you're counting it from you want to make as many of, if you're getting 46 shots up in the air and you want to make as many of them as possible, that's not good. Because half of 46 would be 23. So they would have needed to hit 23 to hit half of them. And you know what? No college basketball team is going to hit half of 46 shots each and every game. Otherwise, they've got some really good shooters. Okay, maybe this Michigan team might. Or earlier in the season, this Michigan team would have been able to. But, oh my gosh, with that many shots in the game, I cannot believe the Boilermakers actually won. In fact, it's one of the reasons Purdue's 3-point shoot. Purdue taking 46 3-point shots last night, that was one of the reasons that the Boilermakers almost lost this game. Keyword, almost lost. If it weren't for their efforts in overtime, if it weren't for their efforts on the backboards, Purdue would not have won this game. And of course, the overtime, they found a way to get it done and Purdue's toughness. But you cannot. Okay, look. I'm all for Purdue shooting the 3-pointers, okay? I want them to shoot a good number. Okay, I think 30 is a more reasonable number. You want them to take 3-point shots to build that confidence. But 46 is too damn many. Too damn many. Because Purdue is not that great of a 3-point shooting team. You cannot, if you're Purdue, you can't justify shooting the ball 46 freaking times in one game. 30 would be a more reasonable number, okay? But 46 is way too many. Even for a team that hits the ball really, really well, who shoots the 3 really, really well, that's too many to take. And for a team like Purdue, that is very streaky from the 3-point stripe, that's too many. And what that shows is last night, Purdue, they really got out of balance on offense. In the first half, they did a really great job. They were up big time on Nebraska because they balanced out the 3-point shooting and attacking the paint. In the second half, Purdue completely went away from attacking the paint. Granted, Nebraska did a great job defending the paint, but Purdue did not really attack the paint all that much. In fact, they didn't attack it. It feels like they didn't attack the paint at all in the second half. Instead, when the lane was clogged, let's chuck up another 3-pointer. And it's either a good shot that bounced off, or it goes in, or brick. Oh my god. When I see 46 shots in 46 3-point shots in one game, I cannot believe Purdue won this game with that many shots from 3, and especially considering they only made 13 of them. Of course, again, grand scheme of things, 13 on the road is not a horrible number. It's a good number. It's just, it's not a good percentage when you consider how many times Purdue shot the ball from 3. Good riddance. What? But the biggest problem I had with it is it took away from our paint offense. And again, while Nebraska was doing a good job defending the paint, and that probably spooked Purdue into not attacking the paint, no excuse not to attack the paint. Purdue should have driven the ball more inside. And if you don't make your layups there, okay, try to draw fouls. Of course, Purdue didn't help themselves at the free throw line either, so that may have been part of it. But regardless of the reasoning, 46 shots from 3 in one game. Holy crap. Purdue, were you trying to shoot yourselves out of the building? Thankfully, this could have been a lot worse because Purdue won the game. They found a way to win in the end because they had a lot more bounce than overtime as opposed to the second half where they were just, as soon as they got an open look, shoot the three. Or, you know what, forget about driving the paint, just shoot the three. Chuck up threes, whether you hit them or they bounce off the iron or you brick them. That was Purdue's mind in the second half, and it almost costed them this big, big win. Purdue was very lucky to escape Nebraska last night, not going to lie. But it's a win. I'm still proud of this win. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy Purdue won. I'm proud of them. They earned this win, but they also got lucky. Because A, they didn't make their free throws. B, and the most important reason, 46 threes, way too many. And C, they also got lucky in the fact that Nebraska had a chance to win the game in the end, and one of their guys just slipped on the court and lost the basketball out of bounds. And, well, maybe not out of bounds, but he lost the basketball as he's slipping, and Purdue's Jakari Harris was able to recover it and make some game-winning free throws at the end. But, look, if Purdue's going to win some big-time games, and they got some big-time games coming up. You got Iowa this weekend, this upcoming Tuesday. They're at home versus Michigan. That's going to be a big game. You got Indiana the following Friday, and then Michigan State to close out this 5-game stretch. So this was a 5-game stretch against really good teams. Purdue's off to a good start with a win against Nebraska. Now there's 4 games left. But if Purdue is going to win as many of these games as possible, or even all of them somehow, got to have balance on offense, okay? I'm fine with them shooting the three-pointers, but I do not want to see another game in the future where the Boilermakers take all the three-point shots in the world. I do not want to see another game where they are shooting 46 threes and only making 13 of them, okay? Look, you can't even make half that number. It's almost impossible. Like, you'd have to be a really good three-point shooting team, and Purdue is streaky at best when it comes to three-point shooting. So I want to see more balance for Purdue between running your offense in the paint and shooting the threes, okay? No more than 33 three-point shots in a game, okay? Get the ball in the paint, draw fouls, and then as a last resort, shoot the three if it gets open, okay? And you don't need to always take... It felt like there was like 3 or 5 possessions in a row in the second half where Purdue shot the ball from 3. Okay, all right, I'm closing this off. To close this off, Purdue needs much more balance on offense if they are going to win. If they're going to win a lot, if they're going to win the rest of their games this season, or win as many of them as possible. No more games where you chuck up the ball 46 times in one game. That is too many for me. 30 is a better number. And run your paint offense, for crying out loud. And also, make your free throws, for Pete's sake. On to this day in sports history. Holy crap. All right, on this day, the 11th of February, 2014. So we're talking about the Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia. Slopestyle freestyle skating event makes debut. It makes its Olympic debut at the Sochi Winter Games, and Canadian Dara Howell is the inaugural women's gold medalist. All right, sports fans, me and Tyler, we'll see you on Friday for Friday Roundtable. We'll have plenty to talk about in the Olympics and a Daytona 500 and a little more. So, but for now, I hope you're enjoying the Winter Olympics, and that's all I got for this week's Waxon Wednesday. This is Jay Waxman from Two Guys Talk Sports, signing off.